Years ago. Happy day after the 4th of July, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome. My name is Connor Halstead. I'm one of the hosts of the show, joined as always in studio by Chris Appel. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Still got all of my fingers after 4th of July.
That is good. You didn't Jason Pierre-Paul yourself?
I did not. But I like how he posted that, like, on 4th of July, the pictures of
did
that. He did.
Okay.
It's like, don't do what I did.
Who?
Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
my hat.
He is a football player. He blew his fingers off.
Yeah, he blew like two of his fingers
When?
off like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he still plays in the NFL, but he has like a special glove that like kind of makes it not look as sad, I guess. But anyways, also that's Dick Schisler. How you doing, bud?
Hey, doing well. Welcome.
Woo! All right, we got lots of good stuff to talk about today. In honor of it being
How good?
so good. In honor of it being
very quite good.
the day after the 4th, maybe we could have done this a week ago, but it would have been a whole week until the 4th, so we waited till the day after. We're gonna do top 3 America movies. I say it like that because that's how you're supposed to as a hillbilly redneck from Conroe.
Yep.
We do want to make sure you know that we come live every Thursday on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area, worldwide at irlonestar.com. You can go to irlonestar.com/TTS, find out all the information about the show. Also follow our Twitter at @the_Ticket Stub and Facebook, the Ticket Stub Podcast. We're also coming Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So make sure you check those out. Interact with us during the show. Maybe we'll read your comment live on air. Maybe if it's up to snuff.
Yeah.
And maybe you can win some tickets to the Grand Theater.
Inappropriate.
Still nobody. You still have time. Nobody's answered our question from last week. We're getting poor interaction over the summer.
Where is Wes?
I don't know. He must be busy or
He's
something.
on summer vacation.
He must be on he's on a holiday, as they would say in Europe. But our question, if you want to answer it before the end of the show, is about Solo. Who did Woody Harrelson beat out to play Beckett, Han Solo's mentor? So if nobody answers on Facebook Live, or you could tweet at us right now before the show's over, we'll just tell you the answer so that we can all be a little smarter. But we're always trying to give away those tickets for anybody who wants to participate, join in on the show. Guys, you have a good 4th? Chris?
Yeah.
What did you text us? What did you do yesterday?
Well, I ate a lot. And then I was watching the coverage of Hurricane Harvey 2 down in Houston. So they had like 8 hours of like the flooding down in Houston.
You really do like the news.
I really
stuff.
do. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
I really sat there for like 8 hours just watching it. And this is like nothing because it's like no big deal. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just interests me. I don't know why.
So you just watch them like, oh, here's a puddle. Oh,
Well, like
a little bit bigger puddle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's live disaster stuff. I just enjoy it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that was. If you never listened to our Jake Reiner special show, you should go back and listen to hear him talk about how it was funny to hear when he was saying like when they want a live shot of something, like it's not even all. You won't even be at the place. It'll just be someone like standing in a grassy field, like next to the studio or whatever, going like, "Oh, we're on location. It's raining."
It happened in an area just like this.
Yeah, just very
Just like
similar
that.
to this road.
Yeah.
There was some cars that crashed into each other. Is Jake Reiner left? Has he left? Houston?
He's not. He's there till August. So
Okay,
he was on there yesterday, some of the coverage, and this morning.
Cherish those memories.
I love you.
I will remember you. Will you please make it?
Jake.
Will you please make him like a creepy fan montage to set to that song? And,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
tweet
I
it
kind
out.
of want to
Yeah,
give you a
that'll,
T-shirt with his face on it.
Hey, that'd be a good idea.
Reiner. Never mind. Okay, so that's a stupid joke I like to make, but inappropriate. Dick, what about you? You watch any fireworks? You set any fireworks off?
No, not really. We just hung out and it rained, and we were still in the process of moving, so we kind of did that, and then
Kind of a bummer 4th a little bit.
yeah. Well, a lot of the things that we were promoting all week on the morning show that got canceled. So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we shouldn't be promoting that much if you're going to cancel events. Like even the Woodlands canceled their event.
Yeah, well,
I think Montgomery was the only actual city in the county that went through their plans and did fireworks and stuff.
the Woodlands did fireworks. They just downsized it from 4 to 1 location or something. Because me and Lindsay and her kids went to the Woodlands and watched the fireworks stuff. It was a really good show still, but since there was only like the one location,
Yeah,
it was so.
What do they? Do
crowded.
they shoot those off the roof of the mall or something? Or?
Yeah, I think they got Anadarko. No, it was just. I think it must be on the
It's
water
somewhere out there.
Yeah, I think it's on the water
Okay.
somehow. Like they have a little boat or something. I don't know. We couldn't see. There was a building obstructing the actual, the
Shooting
epicenter
location.
or whatever.
the
But
launch site.
the launch site. But we saw the aftermath. We saw the explosions. So it was pretty good. And yeah, kind of a bummer 4th. Got to see some fireworks. My girlfriend's neighborhood still did their little party, but there was like hardly anybody there. So swam for a little bit, grilled out some burgers and steak, watched some fireworks.
Yeah, I drank way too much.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We played trivia games and movie stuff, so it was fun. Trivia games, I'm telling you, it's worth that.
I love trivia games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I downloaded this app that said win money playing Office trivia from The Office, the show. I was like, dude, yeah. Downloaded it. No, it like pay $39 for credits, and then you use those credits to enter trivia tournaments. And I was like, this is not free, false advertising. All right, we're gonna hop right into movie news. We got a few things we want to talk about. I did not really send with any sort of heads up these articles to Dick or Chris.
So we are hearing them.
I mean, that's
how
I do it anyway.
Well,
so.
Dick never,
that's how he does
Dick
it.
never reads them anyways. Chris likes to be prepared with some thoughts.
And some jokes.
So your jokes, man.
See, I don't have any jokes today.
So. Bummer. The show's going to be markedly worse because we don't have any of your jokes. Okay, Slate.com had an article that was talking about, have you ever had to pee during a movie?
Yeah,
all
pretty
the
much
time.
every time.
Yeah, every time. So this guy, Chasen Gordon, said that it's okay to partially bootleg a movie when you have to pee. So here's what he does. Now, Chris, I'll be interested to hear your perspective as a movie owner. What he started doing is when he goes and pees, he puts his phone in the cup holder and videos the scenes.
Yeah, that has no room for abuse at all.
Man.
But he only does it for the period of time that he's running to the bathroom. And then when he gets back, it didn't make a lot of sense because you still have to like watch it back. I think he would like throw a earbud in and just like real quick kind of like, catch up on whatever it was he had missed. So I was thinking, is this genius or is this theft?
It's theft.
Oh,
it is
hold
theft.
on. Let me get this straight. No, hold on. I get you, Chris.
Okay.
But when does he watch the moment he lost? Like, you can't watch that because he's gonna miss. What he's watching while he's watching on the phone.
Yeah. So I think.
So as you wait till after the movie and be like, oh, perfect.
Yeah. So I think he would he'd watch it after the movie then. And
like, how long does it take this guy to pee?
Well, I don't know.
Have you ever been to a movie? And listeners, please let us know too. You ever been to a movie where you use the restroom and you came back and you're like, this whole experience is ruined? I have no idea what's going on in this movie. I'm totally lost.
No.
Like, I think the only time it's ever happened to me, it was The Matrix.
You can't pee during The Matrix.
But
that was that's one movie where you might, or like Inception maybe. There's a couple where you really gotta just hold it. Probably.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm telling you this right now. It is theft.
Okay.
It's a $250,000 fine.
Okay.
And 5 years in prison.
Okay.
So wait.
Wow.
No.
Debbie Downer.
FBI, if you're listening, because we know you are, go to this guy's house. His name is right there.
Chasen Gordon.
Yeah, that wasn't really smart of him.
And get his phone. Yeah, exactly. Get his
Throwing it out
phone
there.
and see what kind of bootleg stuff he's got.
Are you listening, Obama? We know you are.
There you go.
We know you are.
Well, isn't that a lot? Hey,
guy.
isn't that a lot due to what's the intent? Like, that $250,000 fine is more of an intent.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
No, because if we catch somebody do it in the theater, if we catch them, they can actually be arrested at that time.
Could you just sue Facebook because Facebook's constantly listening? They're bootlegging that stuff.
But that's not like a copyrighted. That's not a copyright.
What are you talking about?
Oh, they're listening to the movie?
Yeah, you know how Facebook's always listening?
Like Siri and stuff?
Yeah, like right now it's listening. It's like they were found to be doing that.
I don't know.
So
I know Alexa does that because sometimes I'll be talking or whatever, and Alexa, not talking to Alexa, she'll be like, "What was that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you." It's like,
yeah.
Oh gosh, this is the start. This is how it ends.
But no, I get that it's illegal, but still, like, is it always been that big of an issue when you go use the restroom?
No.
I think he's the only guy who does this.
Yeah,
probably.
like that. I don't understand. I've never been in a situation where I'm like, I got to restart this movie now.
Well, also, if you're not an idiot, like you can time it to where you don't go as they're like approaching the final boss or whatever. Go after a big scene culminates. And a lot happens. Then it's going to drop to like probably some downtime as they set up the next action or whatever. And miss that stuff.
Yeah, like when I remember watching 50 Shades of Grey at the theater,
and you don't want to miss a minute of that.
And I was like, it's really funny because Holly, this is so.
It was the most difficult time I ever had pee.
No, I was sitting there and I go, "Hey, I have to go pee, but I really don't want to miss anything." And she just turns to me, and goes, "It's 50 Shades of Grey, Richard. I think it'll be all right." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And so I just went.
She's like, "Grow up, dude. It's 50 Shades of Grey."
Well, it's also that thing where like you don't want to miss the movie.
Yeah.
Regardless of what movie you're watching, because you're in the theater. Yeah, you can't pause it.
And wear a diaper.
So, I bet your neighbors would really appreciate you.
They won't know.
Can you hear that? Can you hear someone peeing in a diaper?
I don't
think so.
Because imagine
only babies do it, and I feel like their stream must.
Imagine watching The Quiet Place.
Oh,
and then, you can hear everything in that movie.
Chris needed a diaper for The Quiet Place.
I know. I needed one.
Some guy urinating behind me.
That place wouldn't be so quiet. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's. But no, I don't. It is theft. It's stupid.
It is theft.
It is stupid to even open your phone. Actually, that's
Thank
the
you.
only time I
Yes.
turn off. Like, do you turn off your phone?
No,
I
Put it on
legit.
silent.
No, I turn it off.
I put it on silent, but I'm pretty discreet about it, I think. But I'm so like ADD that I'll be watching, and the whole movie, I'm like, oh, there's that guy. What other movie was he in? So I'll get on IMDb real quick. And
During the movie?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I know it's bad. I know it's bad.
No. Yeah.
I know
I
it's
just
bad.
turn it off
Yeah, that's good.
completely.
And so if I'm watching a movie for the show, sometimes I'll take like a couple notes while I'm watching it to make sure that I have my very hilarious and poignant thoughts. Got to have my jokes lined up, right, Chris?
Yeah,
you got to have your jokes.
Is
ready.
that why it took you so long to send us though?
Yeah, no jokes. No jokes are coming. It's not going to be a very funny show. Okay, also, here's a great website, stuff.com.
There you go.
Stuff.com said that Jason Statham believes that the Meg could become a franchise. No, this is not probably like rattling your cage.
Did someone
here.
show him the Sharknado and they're like, oh, total success?
Yeah.
Well, so here's what he said. He said, I think it's like anything in this day and age. If it makes money, there's obviously an appetite to make more money. And so,
Well, hence,
That's a fair statement. Yeah. I guess so.
hence Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
well, and I wonder if his involvement, which I'll say Statham is kind of a franchise guy. You know, he did those, what were the driving movies?
Transporter.
Well, he's definitely he's one of the few actors and actresses that are at a level of, I'm going to see that movie if Jason Statham's in it.
Yeah.
Like a few actors.
I don't know if I agree with
No,
that.
I'm saying
maybe
there's an
not you
audience.
personally.
Yeah, not you personally. I mean, there's an audience. Like, hey, most movies, oh, The Mechanic. Oh, cool. Well, I have no idea what that movie's about, but I'll go see it because Jason Statham's in it. And that's why I saw it. And it was all right.
I think he kind of carries the brand with him where people know it's not like, oh, I'll see any Jason Statham movie. It's, oh, I know that if Jason Statham is in it, it's going to involve action scenes, a lot of death. He's going to be like really good at karate or
there's
whatever.
Gonna be a bald joke somewhere.
So
Yeah.
somewhere there's going to be a joke about how handsome he is, even though he's bald, and he's going to, whatever it is. So he's kind of found his niche.
Yeah,
but
he gets paid for that's a big niche.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I guess niche is probably the wrong word.
Like, how much money do you think you get paid for this movie?
I mean,
No.
10
They
million?
shot it in New Zealand. It's supposed to be like a
No
horror
way.
film.
You don't think?
It's advertised as a horror film. I was like, not really. It's kind of one of those. What if we change the DNA?
No, he got maybe 3 tops.
What do you think? It's like a passion project for him?
Yeah, yeah.
I've been wanting to make this movie for so long.
Well, what's funny is the guy who did National Treasure and Cool Runnings directed that movie, The Meg. So there's
That's quite a gap in film.
Well,
that-
I mean, he's involved. He's experienced.
From Cool Runnings to National Treasure was about 14 years, and then from National Treasure.
You know
to
what's
now-
funny? I was thinking to myself, because the movie I'm going to review is Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which you can stream on Netflix. And as I was watching it, I really felt like whoever was making this movie has either never seen any of the Star Wars films, or has
that
never
could be a good thing.
or never have done an action movie,
Yeah.
or like an adventure movie. And then I looked up what he's done, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense. He's never done anything that's like big scale. He's just done Brick and Looper, and that was really it.
But, dude, see, Looper was so good though.
Yeah, but I meant like it wasn't like an adventure movie
I see what you're
where
saying.
I mean that was a cool movie, but not everyone thought it was really great.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up Jason Statham's payment for the Meg, and I'm not finding anything.
The franchise deal with that, yes, if it makes a ton of money opening weekend, there will be a second one. Yes,
Jason
that is a
Statham
fact.
in 2018, I don't know. Can this be true? It's been a rough year for actors. 50-year-old Jason Statham has taken the #1 spot on People with Money's top 10 highest paid actors for 2018, with an estimated $96 million in combined earnings.
What, just for this year?
For 2018, yeah.
These first 6 months.
Well, I think it's estimated. So they probably know the movies that are coming out this year have all already been paid, I guess. Maybe that's what it means.
You know what the
know.
Meg's poster line is?
What?
Open wide.
That's also
August
pretty good.
10th.
All right,
Pretty
but
good
hey, the Meg, I'm buying stock, man. I'm buying stock. I love it. If there's a franchise, I'm in. I haven't seen a
It's
single
going to
second.
depend. I hope the effects are good, because that's going to make or break that movie, I think. If
Yeah.
the shark is actually really scary looking, I think it'll be good.
I think it'll be good. Okay, and real quick, and then we're gonna go to break. TheWrap.com had an article saying Sony Pictures accidentally posted the full movie for Collie the Killer instead on YouTube instead of just the trailer. Oops. They accidentally posted the full feature-length movie that has not yet come out.
I mean, that's either someone really hated Brad, the uploader, and wanted to get him fired.
Brad.
Or
sorry, Brad.
well, I mean, how do you make that mistake?
Here's the deal. I mean, Is this
The only reason I say
Holly
that
the Killer? Is this? I'm not real familiar with
It
this
looks
movie.
like an Indian film. Maybe?
No, it's an LA independent movie. So
is there a chance that this is just a media grab here? Like,
I would say a good chance because the only reason I say is because whoever's used YouTube before and uploaded things to YouTube, there's a huge difference between uploading a 2-minute film
and
thing
a 90-minute
and a 90-minute.
And how long it takes? It'll take you like
even
4
if you
days to upload a 90-minute.
It's still significant enough to where you're like, hey, this is weird. Why is this taking a little bit longer? And things like that, especially when you watch, like when you're done uploading, it says, upload complete all 130 minutes of it. You're like, wait a second, what? But unless the trailer,
it took them 6 hours to take it down. That's what I don't understand. Like you're not checking your work. Like you can check it.
Maybe a movie like this, they just don't care that. Like they don't have enough. Maybe they don't have very many people dedicated to it.
Dude, they gotta care, man.
Yeah,
I mean, especially an independent movie like that.
Well, technically, they had 11,000 views, so that's realistically. Do you think those people would pay money to go see that movie?
No,
probably not.
I mean, I would have just left it up.
I bet Brad got fired though.
He probably.
Well, no, that's my conspiracy theory. Is someone hey Brad and it's like, here's the thumb drive with the trailer on it, Brad. Please upload this by 11 p.m.
And don't ask any questions.
And like Sandy comes in, and is like, I freaking hate Brad. So she takes the thumb drives and puts the other thumb drive, and it's like the full video. And so he's like, Brad's gonna get fired.
The one thing that we know is that Brad and Sandy have had a bad relationship ever since 2016 Office Christmas Party.
Yeah,
where it went down.
Yeah,
Me Too.
Enough said. All right, we need to go to break. When we come back,
she's taking Me Too into her own hands. She's like, I'm getting this guy fired.
Yeah. We need to go to break. When we come back, we're going to be rewinding.
Not playing child support on Brad Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad.
When we come back, we're going to be rewinding the movies that we've seen over the last week. Later on in the show, we're going to do our top 3 America movies.
Yeah.
So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub. Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris.
And we're with the Ticket Stub podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
The Ticket Stub is brought to you in part by Movie Tavern, with 2 locations serving the greater Houston area. 18359 Tomball Parkway, just north of Willowbrook Mall, and 9630 FM 1960 Bypass West, across from Deerbrook Mall. The Ticket Stub is sponsored by Movie Tavern. Movie Tavern. Movies never tasted so good.
Statistics show that 1 out of every 6 Texans struggles with food insecurity and hunger. And many people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every day. The Better Living for Texans program is here to help you learn how to make healthy menu choices, save money at the grocery store, prepare quick and delicious meals, get more good nutrition in your day, and get more physical activity. Classes are fun, friendly, interactive, and free, and taught in English and Spanish. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
We're back on the Ticket Stub. Happy birthday, America. We love you. We're here for you.
How old are we?
America, 1776 to 2018.
Hey, Chris, old enough.
There you go.
This is not a drill.
Oh, I saw somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere that we're 242.
Okay.
That sounds right because 2 plus 7, 6.
Oh, we
8.
haven't been keeping records at all.
I'm not a math
Is
scientist.
that number true?
It's somewhere between like 25 and 1,000, somewhere right in that sweet spot. 242 though is what I think I saw. So congrats, we made it. Another year down. Over the hill, am I right? Oh, old jokes. Okay, this is the part of the show where we rewind, where we talk about the movies that we've seen over the last week. If you missed this last segment, we talked about stealing movies by recording them on your iPhone while you go to the bathroom.
And Chris will prosecute.
And Chris will get the FBI. He was passionate.
You know what? He just to let people know too, at the Grand, he does a little casino style management from the movie Casino. If he finds you cheating,
takes you out back.
He just gets it.
Hey, Chris, there's a show.
I just get it. Yes, that's right.
Don't get it. There's a show called Nathan for You. Have you ever watched this show?
No.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite show of all time on television. But Nathan does an episode. He brings ideas to small businesses to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is for a movie theater to not allow you to share popcorn. That way everyone has to buy their own. And so they make a policy that you're not allowed to share popcorn. And they put night vision in all the theaters. And if they see you sharing, they pin your picture on this board, this cork board that says, it says pedophiles and popcorn sharers.
Oh, well, that's not a bad idea.
That way, double your sales.
There
man.
you go.
Double your sales.
Get it.
I was thinking about that because when I went to see my movie this week, I asked for a little bag to share the popcorn.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right, rewind. This is where
Holly just gets napkins and just sprays them all over and she pours.
they'll give you like a little baby bag.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upscale, man.
For now, until the new policy kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what movie did you watch this week?
I watched a documentary. Well, you know what? I enjoy documentaries like I enjoy watching flood disasters.
Okay. Was it just called The News? Channel 2 News?
No, this flood.
He watched 8 hours of it. So that
I did. This was it's called In the Shadow of the Moon.
Oh.
Which is it came out
Sounds like a Pink Floyd song or something.
No, that's Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, my bad.
And there is a Dark Side of the Moon. I didn't even realize that.
See, so, I knew that, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, I was thinking that wasn't true anymore. But is that still true?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So anyway,
tell us about this one.
Well, it came out in 2007. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and basically, it's a bunch of astronauts talking about like the Apollo program and like all the stuff that they had to do to get to the moon and get into space and stuff like that. It's really neat. So it's got like really cool interviews with like Buzz Aldrin and, you know, old footage of Neil Armstrong and a lot of old astronauts. But it was, I think it's produced by Ron Howard. So he did Apollo 13, which is a great movie. So I think him and Hanks got really invested in space program stuff because they had, I think they had that from the Earth to the Moon show on HBO, I believe. So they were kind of in this, like, I guess they just had a bunch of footage of space stuff. So they just kept cranking out documentaries and movies and stuff like that. So
a lot of B-roll of like the Earth in a spaceship.
Yeah, but it's really fantastic if you're interested. And of course, this area, you know, Houston, I mean, you get to see a lot of stuff like with the Space Center and things like that, you know, oh, I've been there and I've seen that. And it's really cool stuff to see.
So you get to hear like Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong talking about their experiences as astronauts.
Neil Armstrong was not alive, I guess, when this was made.
Yeah,
but Buzz Aldrin, yeah. Which is weird because I guess in the trivia of this, he's the only astronaut that I guess demanded to be paid to do this documentary. Yeah, and the rest of them,
some American hero.
Yeah, the rest of them did not do that. But it's just very interesting. I'm just fascinated by the whole space thing. And hey, now we got a Space Force coming.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
I keep seeing tweets about that.
Well, it's like you know, the Air Force, and now there's Space Force. So it's like a military space program, I guess, that the president announced. I don't know what that entails exactly.
So I guess we have like ground force, sea force, air force, space force.
Space Force, yeah.
Oh, what about time force?
So you have to go through time. I like that. If we could figure that out, I think that'd be really good.
All right. So how did you watch this?
This was on Amazon streaming,
and you just saw it and was like, "Oh, that looks cool."
Yeah, okay. I figured. You know,
I don't know if you know this about Chris. He's a flat earther. And he also doesn't believe that we ever went to space.
You know what's so funny about that? I was reading an article about flat Earth yesterday, but I don't believe that.
There are people who legit.
But I was reading it yesterday. I really was.
I'm glad you said that because it would have sounded as if you did believe it. Because he said it, and then you're like, "Yeah, I was actually just reading an article about that."
I am not a flat
Let me
earther.
tell you the truth, guys.
Really logical stuff.
Yes, and I do believe we've gone to space.
Okay. And
that's not fun.
How was your article? Was it good?
It was just the evidence.
Do people really believe in the flat Earth, or
Yes.
is it just them being like ironic and funny?
No,
and
they do.
hipster?
It was like 10 evidence things that they had of that the Earth is flat.
I just saw a meme that was like it showed the Earth as if it was flat, and it was showing how Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and it was like, man, they really had to fly a long ways because you'd have to go all the way over. But anyways, whatever. All right, In the Shadow of the Moon, worth watching if you like space.
Yes, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, and if you don't believe in the round Earth, this could maybe help bring you over. Dick, what did you watch this week? Oh, also, sorry, In the Shadow of the Moon. There's a movie coming out in 2019 with the same title.
Yeah, I saw that, so it was really hard for me to look that up really fast because that one kept popping up, and I was like, Michael C. Hall wasn't in this.
Okay, well, maybe, I wonder if it'll be.
What did I miss?
Wonder if it'll be about space. All right, what you got?
I saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It's streaming available on Netflix. I would encourage anyone who likes movies, don't watch this one. And I did. You know, it's funny because I remember
hot take.
I remember hearing all the criticism and watching the movie. It just the thing that stuck out to me the most was how whoever made this movie, whoever wrote the team behind it, you can almost say they'd never seen any Star Wars movies. Because
sure that's not true. I'm sure that.
I mean, I'm sure they have, but it's like, and it made so much sense after reading more about Mark Hamill's criticism of it. And I was like, if the actor knows what's up, like, again, this is my kind of argument about big budget films. Like, you got the opportunity to make a cool movie. Take your time.
Did the tone feel totally different?
Yeah. Like, I still don't get, and if there's a hardcore supporter of the new Star Wars, like, I still don't get the timeline in the sense of how did they end up with just a room full of rebels? And like, that hasn't still resonated with me. Like, I thought at the end of episode 6, we see Luke, you know, with Leia and Harrison Ford, and everything's right in the universe because they killed Senator Palpatine.
Yeah.
And they won. How did we get from there to Luke Skywalker drinking tit milk and refusing, like,
official sponsor of the show, Tit Milk.
Well,
always
like,
refreshing.
No, because one of the things that I didn't really get either is if you think about the character Luke Skywalker, his whole progression.
Well, this is in the future.
Well, this is 4, 5, and 6. I'm talking about his progression of seeing the good in his dad and trying to take him back to the light side. And he, in the end, was successful. Then all of a sudden, in this trilogy, he doesn't see that being possible with Kylo Ren at all. Even though the history that we've known Luke Skywalker, he fights for the goodness in people.
Well, doesn't he say like the darkness is too much inside Kylo or something?
Come on, he saved Darth Vader in a sense. That's guy like known to be the darkest man in the Force world, and then it's like, oh, gotta maybe kind of kill him. I don't really know. And I'm like, wait a second. So
yeah, but Kylo Ren, like, I mean, he like killed all his family or whatever.
No,
later, all those little academy boys.
Later, because of what he felt Luke Skywalker was going to do to him.
Yeah.
So you understand what I mean? Like in the character, that really weirded me out because it's like, man, who's this Luke Skywalker? I didn't really get that. And then a lot of dialogue was so bad. And like, especially the whole, like, you're on hold, the very opening scene where it's like, where Oscar Isaac's character was like, you're on hold 1 second. It had that kind of Earth humor. I was like, this is stupid. This is not a Star Wars movie to me. Maybe I'm just being really judgmental.
I think so. I think you're being kind of a hater.
Was Daisy Ridley good though?
That's actually what was surprising is the acting wasn't so out of place. Like everyone did their job, and that was entertaining, and it looked great. But it was just like the dialogue they choose, like Chrome Dome.
Yeah.
When the guy said that, I go, and it was a nice setup where finally we get to see the Finn face off against this person who's been putting him down, and basically is the opposite what he believes in. And then the dialogue they chose to have the face off, calling her Chrome Dome, and just like felt so out of place. It's as if like a 6-year-old was fighting, and that's what he chooses to use.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, one of my bigger criticisms of this was that, it was kind of tonally weird. Like, it would have these action scenes. It's almost like all the movies are trying to be kind of more lighthearted ever since Guardians of the Galaxy was such a big hit and Deadpool and all that. it's like it set a new standard for some of these movies where, I mean, Avengers Ultron was the same way, or Infinity War, whichever the newest one was, where it's like they try to throw these little jokes in there and stuff. And sometimes in some movies it works, and sometimes they're just not as good at it. And I would say Star Wars was not as good.
Yeah, it was not. And I really was disappointed in like a lot of the stuff too from the Force Awakens. They asked so many good questions, like, oh, I can't wait to the next one because I don't understand what the heck this is. And they didn't answer any of it. It was just like, we don't care. And like I said, it felt like while watching this movie, whoever is in charge did not watch the previous ones and was just kind of like, hey, we're going to kind of go in a new direction because we can.
Well, that's one of the difficult things. I think you've talked about this before. When they hand off directorship and leadership every other movie of a big franchise like this, I think it's really hard for them to keep common,
Yeah, and I don't understand why that would be a horrible decision to say, hey, let's sit down and work with the same team.
I don't know why they do it. I mean, Chris, do you have any thought? Why do they trade? Why do they change hands on these big movies?
Well, I think it's the movies are so massive that I think, as a director, there's so much pressure on you, and it's just such a taxing task that you don't really want to do it, especially when you're cranking it out every couple of years.
Example to you, Chris, this Rain Johnson, who wrote and directed this one, I think he's directing the next one too, to end the saga, the Skywalker saga. The only other movies he's directed, and I'm not kidding you, was Looper, Brick, The Brothers Bloom, and pretty much those are the major featured length films he's made. He's made like 3. And I'm like, who would give Star Wars to this guy?
I don't know. I wonder if on these big movies, the director is important, but there's so many people involved that maybe
that's part of the problem too. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen on these now.
I bet,
because they just want to make a surefire hit.
They just want $1 billion or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I think that the name Star Wars does have that power. Like no matter what kind of movie you make, you're going to make that. But we've talked about this before. Like it can't be that hard in the world of like the top end Hollywood movie making world to make a good movie, because you have so many examples of what makes a movie good.
But part of it, and we need to go to break, but part of it, I think, with these kind of lesser known guys, they don't want somebody to come in who's not going to answer, who's not going to listen to their advice, like Disney or whatever. They don't want to bring in Martin Scorsese, who's going to come in and say,
James Cameron,
no, you don't tell me what to do. I'm going to, I'm who I am. They want to elevate one of these littler known guys who's basically going to be the yes man for everything they say.
Well, they had trouble with that on Solo, right? They fired the director.
Yeah, they had to fire him because it was exactly. And so I think the big studio wants to basically have kind of a puppet who will do the work, but ultimately will just default to whatever it is they say. And probably when you hit a certain level of fame or success or anything else, maybe it gets harder and harder to control the director in the same way. I wonder if
but I mean, again, your goal is to make a successful movie and especially build up the brand value more.
But I'm not sure their goal is to make a good movie. I think their goal is to make a successful movie.
Well, but it might be successful for the first 2 weeks of the release, but I'm talking 20 years from now, 30 years from now, will it has much of its impact as, say, episode 4, 5, and 6 did. And I see these movies as forgettable. Yeah. And I don't know about the younger generation. Now, if you handle kids with school, I mean, with your job, do you see them going, man, I totally want to be Finn. No, I love it. I love Finn. I'm like, no, I don't see the impact, the social impact that the original Star Wars had.
No, I agree. But even still, maybe they just think they're going to keep making one every 2 years, so it doesn't have to last. All they need is to get them to be at the next one. And just.
Well, no, I get that, and I was reading after because I was really interested, like what happened to this movie because it was just so disappointing. And then now I'm seeing that they're slowing down production. Did you see that? Like all of their Star Wars story-esque ones, they're not doing those now. They're kind of putting them on the back burner, and they're not going to release 2 to 3 movies a year now.
Well, it's probably for the best. All right, we got to go to break. When we come back, I'm going to rewind the movie I've seen this week, which is called Won't You Be My Neighbor? So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Let's begin. Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
The Ticket Stub is brought to you in part by Movie Tavern, with 2 locations serving the greater Houston area, 18359 Tomball Parkway, just north of Willowbrook Mall, and 9630 FM 1960 Bypass West, across from Deerbrook Mall. The Ticket Stub is sponsored by Movie Tavern. Movie Tavern. Movies never tasted so good.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
We're back on the Ticket Stub. As always, we're coming live from downtown Conroe on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Worldwide on irlonestar.com/TTS. Remember, you can go to irlonestar.com/TTS to find out information about the show. You can go to our Twitter at @_Ticket Stub, Facebook, the Ticket Stub Podcast. If you're hearing this right now on the radio and you're about to be at work or home or wherever, go ahead and log onto your computer, get on Facebook, and watch us live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And leave us a comment. We might read it on the show. It looks like we maybe have an answer for our grand ticket giveaway question.
So I just saw that the next Star Wars sequel or the saga is going to be directed by J.J. Abrams.
Oh.
So do you think there's a quality control issue there?
Like he's coming in to fix it up. I wonder if maybe they
well, he did the what is it the latest one of the new.
Did he do the
deal?
He did Rogue One, right?
No,
he directed Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
He did Force Awakens. Okay, they're bringing him back maybe to try to clean it up. Okay, so we did get an answer, right, Chris?
We did. So the question was
the gauntlet was dropped and it was picked up, right? The question was, because of the Solo movie that had come out, who did Woody Harrelson beat to play Beckett, Han Solo's mentor?
Well, Wes Smith answered, and he said Harrison Ford beat out Christian Bale, but we're talking about Woody Harrelson, not Harrison Ford.
Christian Bale beat out
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson,
not Harrison Ford.
Wouldn't that be great?
He wrote Harrison Ford.
That'd be the strangest.
So does he win? Does he win or does he not win?
Well, I think
he does.
Do we give trophies for just participating?
Yeah, participation trophy. He definitely will get one of those.
Well, Christian Bale was the key that we were looking for, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that was the answer. And he put Christian Bale in there somewhere.
He did somewhere.
All right, well, we'll have another question for next week that you guys can try to pay off without me. By the way, I won't be here next week in studio. I know I'm kind of every other week these days.
Well, you're just a special co-host.
Yeah,
I understand.
That's right. I'm a special.
We've already removed your name from all the branding.
It's nice to be here, though, guys. Thanks for inviting me in.
Yeah,
it's really, really nice to be here. I do want to hop into my rewind and talk about what I saw over the last week. So Chris already talked about his documentary,
In the Shadow of the Moon.
In the Shadow of the Moon. Dick watched Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Not very impressed. I watched a movie over the last week. Well, first off, I did watch a movie called Mom and Dad, which Chris loves. Man, it was something else. Unlike much else that I had seen. Really, Nick Cage, man. Yeah, there we go. All right. What I also saw was a movie called Won't You Be My Neighbor? This is limited in kind of a small release that's in theaters right now, PG-13. It's an hour and a half right on, very perfect length. Directed by, directed by 20 Feet from Stardom. Directed by the guy who directed 20 Feet from Stardom. So he's a documentary director. Not real prominent, I would say, named Morgan Neville. But he did a really good job with this movie. What the plot is, it's an exploration of the life, lessons, and legacy of iconic children's television host Fred Rogers. Have y'all heard about this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
I'm
Holly
excited
really
to
wants to see it.
Yeah.
Y'all, okay. Y'all
Well, my question for you, and it's funny to do documentaries about this because it's not like they've never done something on Mr. Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
So does it present anything new?
Well, to me, yes. I mean, I would say that I'm far from a historian of Mr. Rogers or anything like that. But I'll say that this was a really, really, really thorough look at how he got started, his life, how he was perceived by the public, and his lasting impact. Those are kind of the things that I really took away after seeing this. And I think it really looked at him as kind of a character study, what his motivation for the show was. And again, I don't know how much you've read about it. I didn't know really very much. I mean, I remember watching the show some. I didn't realize it went all the way until 2000. The show went from It was from 1967 to 2000, and there were some breaks in between where the show wasn't happening, and he tried to do some adult entertainment for a while.
Oh my gosh!
Well, no, I'm sorry, he tried to do some entertainment that was meant for adults.
It took a break to be an adult movie.
That documentary would be very interesting. Yes. You probably didn't know this about Mr. Rogers.
That would have taken a turn for sure. And that was, he wanted it to be very much on the same kind of feel, but meant for adults. And that wasn't real successful. But what was really cool was to hear all the people that were trying to, and they talked about this, everyone was trying to figure him out. Everyone always wanted to try to was he really the same on and off the camera? What was he really like? What was his motivation and all this stuff? And it was funny because people would try to put him in all these different boxes because he was so unique and different. And because of that, there was some rumors that would come out. One of the rumors apparently was that he was gay, even though he was married and had some kids. That everyone thought that. Apparently, what was his name? The sheriff, the police officer on Mr. Rogers, the black guy. Apparently, he is gay, and he's like, "Oh no, he wasn't," because my radar would have been going off. We worked together for 35 years or whatever. I don't know if that's a scientific test or not.
Well, I had heard that there was cocaine involved at some point. Is that accurate or not? Well, Did they address that?
Well, this movie had no mention of him doing any sort of drugs.
Okay, because that's the rumor I heard when I was little.
Yeah, and here's the rumor that I really did hear all the time. Did y'all ever hear this one? That he was a Navy SEAL sniper. He'd killed tons of people, and he had full arm sleeve tattoos, which is why he wore sweaters all the time. Had you ever heard that rumor? I had all my friends. We all had that same rumor.
I never did.
They addressed it in the movie. Apparently that was a big enough rumor that they addressed it in the movie. They're like, no, he didn't have arm sleeve tattoos. He never served in the military. He was an ordained minister and was about to become a priest, and kind of at the last minute decided instead that he wanted to do television entertainment for children. This is not a real funny movie. There's a couple parts that are kind of funny. They interview one of the stage hands, or one of the kind of the production assistant guys, and he looks like he's straight out of a rock, out of a bar that does rock, has rock concerts coming.
Knuckle tattoos.
He might have had knuckle tattoos.
Yeah, those are awesome.
But he's the reason I think this is PG-13, because he's the only one that has any sort of language, I think, and he brings some comic relief to the whole thing. But man, this was really, really, really good. It was really fun to see some interviews. Really cool to see the way that he could disarm people. He would walk into a newscaster that was ready to really just tear him up and make him look stupid, and then by the end of it, he'd have that guy laughing and loving him and everything like that. And what he did for some policy to really help publicly funded entertainment. Really cool movie. I really think that at the end of the year, this will be, if not winning an Oscar for Best Documentary, up for an Oscar. Definitely nominated would be my thought.
One question I had, and if y'all can help me out on this. So at the beginning of the show, he walks in and he takes off a sweater, which I get because he's outside.
Yeah.
So taking the shoes off and changing into different shoes that are pretty much the same. I don't get that. Do you guys do that?
He would take off his dress shoes and put on kind of.
Yeah, Holly basically has a rule where any shoes that are out from outside need to be off when you're inside.
Well, we
have shoes specifically for inside.
Do you really?
That's the only way I can work around it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well then it's
there we go.
It's legit.
They addressed why he would do the changing, and for him it was something about. I think maybe it was something from growing up, but also it was to show we're going to be relaxed, we're going to be comfortable or whatever. Right. So it was some
when you come home from school or work or wherever, it's you have a process.
Where's he coming from?
I don't know. I don't know that it ever addressed what he did. It was cool to see the puppets. And then my girlfriend's kids watched this show called Daniel Tiger, which I didn't really ever make the connection, but it's basically a total spin-off cartoon of the characters that Mr. Rogers had on his show. from years and years ago, which is kind of cool that his legacy lives on that way. All right. So those are the movies we've seen. I would say definitely run out and see this in theaters if you can find it, or when it goes streaming, I would say watch it as soon as you see it on whatever. I would even pay a couple dollars for it, when it comes out for rental. This was really, really, really good. Might get a little dusty a couple times if you're kind of an emotional type person with some of the ways, just to watch him relate to people and how he's just like the nicest person in the world, I think, and had a big impact. So really cool. All right, moving on. We are going to do our top 3 America movies.
Do you need to wear the hat?
I'm going to put the hat back on. It doesn't really fit with the headphones.
You don't need the headphones.
It looks good.
I don't need that. I've never done it without the headphones. How do I know if I'm actually talking or not? All right.
I don't know. Can you hear yourself?
You look like the world's worst DJ right now. Just looks like,
yeah. Yo, DJ guys, Uncle Sam.
Ready to celebrate Independence Day?
Yeah. And I'm proud to be wicked American. All right, here we go. Top 3 American movies. This is Radio Gold. Dick's like, oh my goodness. When are you going out of town again? When are you going to be gone? Okay. Speaking of me being gone, y'all have a guest host for next week, right?
We do.
Sorry, kind of all over the place here. But
yeah, I'm super excited. We've got Sean K. Thompson, who hosts the morning show with Dick. He's done a lot of cool stuff, been in a lot of movies. He's written some stuff. So I'm excited.
So is he coming in to guest host or as an interview as a special guest?
Yeah, he'll be co-hosting, but we'll get to know him a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, excited to get to hear a little bit more about all of that and see what y'all do next week. What we're doing right now, we're going to do our top 3 favorite patriotic or movies about America. We'll see kind of what direction this goes. Chris, we'll start with you. We'll all do 3s, all do 2s, all do 1s, and kind of go that way.
Okay, number 3 for me is Apollo 13. So I'm keeping with my space.
There we go.
Here.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. No, just what they had to do to get those guys back. In no other country helped us, I don't think. So really. This is very, very American thing.
Yeah, they kind of addressed that at one point. Like, yeah, we asked them and they're all like, no, sorry.
So dramatic. Had to make that box out of duct tape. Yeah. It doesn't sound dramatic, but it is. If you've seen the movie.
The drama was unbelievable. They had to make a box with duct tape.
And Hank, you can't bet against Hanks.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Awesome patriotic movie.
Really,
you feel great. You go, yes, America at the end of it.
What's his name? Mission Control guy? Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Man, he was to me, he's one of the standouts of that.
So good.
He's so good, man. Love Apollo 13. All right, number 3, Apollo 13. Dick, what about you?
I would say Rambo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of an out of the box American pick,
It
right?
is pretty American.
Yeah, I really like that movie a lot, and I think it talks a lot about war, and then especially the country in the sense of their decisions, and also Rambo, the character himself, goes through a lot, and I like that because he's just wandering through a small town and in America.
I like Rambo because the first one I feel like really deals with some like serious issues of like war, and maybe there's like some PTSD kind of stuff thrown in there. And then by like the third Rambo or whatever, it's just like I feel like he's just murdering people like in mass.
Well, the fourth one, he rips a dude's throat out.
The fourth one is the greatest of all.
That's very American.
He literally rips the guy's throat out. I forgot about that. Oh, that's like roided up Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, it's great.
All right.
Because when that happened, I remember being in the theater and I just remember going, whoa, like that. Everyone looks at me.
Throat rip. You ever see MacGruber?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
His like special gift is throat ripping. He just walks up to everyone and just rips their throats out. All right. For me, my third favorite from the year 2000. This is kind of a layup here, but The Patriot has it in the title.
Awesome movie.
And the reason I wouldn't have picked this because it's a little too on the nose, but that scene where he stabs the bad guy in the chest with the American flag.
The stick.
The
horse deal. Yeah.
Or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but wasn't the flag on that thing? Or is that
I had to go back. I think I originally said that happened, but it didn't happen.
Oh.
He just stabs him with the end of a bayonet.
Oh,
so,
well, bummer.
But he does stab a horse with the American flag.
Oh, he stabs a horse with the American flag. That's what and he's running as everyone else runs in retreat.
Yes.
He runs forward with the flag.
That is an awesome movie.
No greater scene of patriotism than that.
Any country, there's no other country that can stand up to that movie. If they had their own patriotic movie, nowhere near.
Wouldn't be that great.
No.
All right. Well, I hope I didn't steal your number 1. All right. Number 2.
Well, you did, but I picked another one.
Oh, okay. So. That's it. That's versatility.
Yeah.
All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is what is more American than NASCAR racing?
Hey-oh.
Yeah. So I picked Days of Thunder, the 1990 Tom Cruise movie. It's an awesome movie directed by Jerry Bruckheimer. No, he's not a director. Is it? No,
he's a producer.
I forgot. He's a producer. But anyway, awesome action, really good movie.
Okay.
So why are you laughing? Because my description of films is awful.
I got the need for speed.
That's Top Gun.
first of all.
No, that is in Days of Thunder.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
All right.
Look it up. If it is, then they just totally
like
stole the same
there's several
quote.
things from Days of Thunder because I think Days of Thunder was released before Top Gun. It's like the same plot almost.
It is Top Gun on.
If they say Need for
on
Speed,
wheels.
I've seen Days of Thunder many moons ago. But if they say I've got the Need for Speed, then I'm out on Days of Thunder because that's
No, they
Top
don't.
Gun's quote.
They don't say that.
All right. Well, Dick's feeling pretty confident. Dick, can you look up and talk at the same time what your number 2 is?
Yeah, my number 2 is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
That was
that's a
one of the
great
first movies I saw that kind of actually gave me an understanding of what happens when you go to Washington.
Oh, okay.
So
really the nuts and bolts of like Congress
Yeah.
and stuff.
So it's a powerful movie, and it talks about the heart of an individual and the impact it can have in this country, and especially what it had a huge thing about representation, like what do things represent. And I felt like that movie touched a lot of the things that I had answered questions for, and I can watch that movie pretty much anytime.
Yeah, and Ted Cruz a couple of years ago tried to do the same thing. Filibuster that long for a long time, and he ended up just reading Green Eggs and Ham. So not the same, but
not quite as great.
Jimmy Stewart's much more effective, I think.
All right, for me, number 2 is a movie I've actually talked about on the show before. It is a musical from 1976 called 1776, featuring Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. I forget his real name.
Yeah. He's also the voice of Kit on Knight Rider, which you guys talked about earlier today.
Oh, okay. But it's a movie of them signing the Declaration of Independence. It is a musical complete with a number of great songs, including one about saltpeter, which apparently they used in gunpowder. I don't know. When I was in 8th grade, we had a history teacher that was like the worst teacher in the world. And so she would just let us watch this movie over and over again. So I bet I watched it like 20 times that year. And we all, like my class, we all memorized all the songs and we would like all sing it together and stuff. It was very like, I don't know, kind of like a Brady Bunch type moment as we all sit around singing musicals. But it was better than learning, I guess. It was a kind of learning, but I still remember that. I love that movie. 1776. It's what I learned. It's what first got me to learn about the Capitol and adopting declarations of sorts and voting on, I don't know, whatever. All right. Number 1. I'm going to take this hat off.
No, number 1 for me is Roadhouse.
Oh
wow.
Yes.
Solid choice.
Roadhouse.
Okay.
And he rips the throat out of a guy in that movie too. So
I think that was the original throat rip, probably, right?
It was.
Which one's first?
That one was first.
Yeah, because Rambo 4 was like
yes. And
in
so
the 2000s.
I guess the throat rip is like America's signature move, I guess.
Well,
which is kind of
we
cool.
ripped the throat out of terrorism.
Yeah.
Figuratively.
We did. I'm assuming we did. It hadn't happened in a while.
Whoa.
Whoa. There's no other response you can have when someone rips the throat out.
Yeah.
Well,
it wouldn't be the guy saying,
in that
"Whoa."
specific scene, though, in that specific scene, you remember what it was? Is like they had like a still shot of the guard. You're like, why are we seeing this guard? And obviously, you see this hand reach out, grabs the and gone. You're like, whoa! All right,
Goodness. All right. So
Fighting down by the lake in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Just
Roadhouse is a quality movie.
finish him.
Yeah, I love in Roadhouse how like if someone bumps you at the bar, you just fight them to the death.
Yeah.
Like there's no like it seems like your clientele at your bar would slowly dwindle.
Well, that's why Patrick Swayze's there.
I guess that's true. He had to come.
I was honestly trying to wait in that movie to like, where's all the money? Because they're like, oh, they're doing drugs there, or they're dealing it.
Oh no!
Because they would pay that much money for like.
What was his name? What was his character's name?
It's
like an iconic movie name.
It is. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Come back to me.
Okay.
And I'll never forget that blind guitarist.
Yeah.
Who's actually blind. In that,
yes,
like that's a legit
yeah,
story.
No, he's a great artist.
Wait a minute. On IMDb, it's listed as Roadhouse 66.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But the poster just says Roadhouse, but IMDb says Roadhouse 66.
It's just Roadhouse
to us.
So
all right. So my number 1, I have a tie. It'd be Rocky 4 or it'd be Team America.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So like that to me,
Beckman.
The Rocky 4 is very patriotic.
Yeah. Rocky 4 was my number 1 choice as well.
Like that huge metaphor of the montage workout scene.
That is so awesome.
As America was always didn't have the right tools. America was always given the uphill battle.
But we always overcome.
And you just keep working out in that snow and he'll beat the Russians.
Yeah. And then the speech at the end where he dismantles communism, where he says, if I can change and you can change. Maybe we all can change. And they applaud him and they boo their own guy. You know, that's why I picked the number one, was that final speech where he brings everyone over.
What's your final one?
That was it. Rocky Four. Yeah, Rocky Four. Yeah, Rocky Four.
No throats.
Yeah, no throats get ripped out, which is kind of a little bit of a letdown. Another one I love, which I guess I could say instead, there's a movie called Act of Valor, which had like the real Marines that did like the battles, like that acted. The acting was terrible because it was like real Marines who did it. But dude, I love that movie for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's like kind of cool to see like servicemen and stuff. Some of the kill scenes in that. There's one scene where they're like trying to be real secretive and they sneak up and one guy is like underwater scuba diving and he lifts his arm out of the water behind the guy standing on the dock and someone else snipes him and the guy falls backwards and he catches the guy and just lowers him into the water.
Oh, wow.
Never to be seen again. Pretty sweet.
Throat
intact. Unfortunately, unfortunately, throat intact. It would have been cool if he like shot him in the throat, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, we've got to wrap all this up. For next week, we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater if anybody, and to the Movie Tavern if anybody answers the question. So Ant-Man and Wasp is coming out this week.
That's gonna be good, man.
And
I'm excited about that movie.
The first one was good, so I hope this one's going to be good as well. In the soundtrack to the trailer, there's a high-pitched guitar chord that repeats a riff from a song called Ant Invasion. What's the band? What's the ant-inspired name of the band that plays the song Ant Invasion on the trailer for the movie Ant-Man and Wasp? There's a lot of ant involved in that.
Oh, huh.
Whoa. Okay, for next week, Chris Dick, you'll have a movie you're going to watch, something you're going to talk about next week? Mystery box?
I'm actually the Ant movie. If that's this weekend, I'm going to see that. And I'm going to do my best.
All right. Hopefully they'll come back with Ant movie. Chris?
I'll probably rip apart Jurassic World.
Oh, that's good. I saw that one. One, by the way. And I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. And we'll be here with Sean
K. Thompson.
Sean K. Thompson.
You won't be here with us.
I'll be here in spirit. I'll be here in spirit. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Everybody, tell your friends about the show. Like us, leave us a comment, leave us a review on iTunes, and make sure you tell somebody. Let's keep growing the Stubby Nation out there.